It's my pleasure to introduce Christy Pettit from Pollinate, who is our resident expert on mentorship and AI. Christy has a company in Kitchener, Guelph area that actually specializes in helping companies develop mentorship programs that will exceed and excel businesses and personal development. So we're very blessed to have Christy with us today, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Christy to tell us a little bit about AI and mentorship.
Thank you so much, Trish. And I just want to pause and acknowledge Trish for getting this whole thing going and keeping it going. Trish, you really put a lot of yourself into this, and it's obvious to all of us, and just want to shout out that we can see you working this together, and what a blessing to be able to spend time with these interesting folks on a regular cadence. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
As Trish said, I have, for whatever reason, become obsessed about 20 years ago with the idea that mentorship might be part of the answer to the world's ills, from the perspective of bringing people together to get important things done. And we talked about the essential nature of mentorship, at least at some points in our lives, to help us get perspective, to help us step outside of ourselves. And Trish and I have been talking about, how can we bring that to this network, knowing that you all have lots of opportunities to network and be mentored and mentor and share and all of those things, but is there value here? And when we look at, AI being part of the picture, what AI helps us to do is really to, share of ourselves, and then have even more options to see who's available that might be wanting to collaborate on the same things that we want to collaborate on, that may learn in a similar way to how I learned. It was interesting in our session, Shelley and I both shared, I need a mentor often. Why do I have a mentoring company? Because I need mentors. I know for me, the way that I learn, I'm a verbal processor. So having someone who has a bit of experience in what I'm doing and the ability to hear what I'm saying and put it in a context can be really helpful. Shelley, you were saying, you more write things out to get outside of yourself. But when we're thinking about mentorship and AI, it's really just, it gives us a lot more options to find people. Not that we all aren't great networkers. Obviously, some of us prefer that more than others. But in a network like this, where Trish has amassed, a number of hundreds of people, AI can give us the opportunity to have visibility to who's in the network and who might go with whom. And one of the things that Trish and I have talked a lot about, and I think it came up in some of the mentorship conversations based on what you've all said, is there are gradients of these relationships. And as was discussed, some of them are paid things where it's like, I really need to get to an outcome and I need someone to be paying close attention to helping me. That might be a paid thing, and that might be that accountability partner or coach that we talk to. And as was discussed, a coach is someone, ideally they've got some training, although some people, put out a shingle because they're a natural at it, but they have a process to bring. They can bring a process that you can follow when you're making a big change, or where you really need accountability, or where you really need to build back from something, or you need to, head into something. Sometimes that more formal, structured accountability partner coach can be very helpful in those situations. Sometimes mentorship can be the answer, and mentorship can be, as people have discussed, the idea of finding people who can give us the perspective that we need now. And often for us as entrepreneurs and business owners, that might be someone who's a little bit ahead of us in terms of what they've done in their business and in the world, who might be able to reflect it back to us. Sometimes it's someone who, I love the conversation about, getting to know myself better. Yes, wouldn't that be great to have someone who could help, be a reflection to us? Then we have peer groups, just like this one, that are essentially a supportive group that bring relevant information. And then we might have an even lighter level of involvement where, I might call up Jackie or Linda or somebody and say, hey, you seem to know something about something I'm trying to do or trying to understand. Can you help me? So different levels of involvement. And what can happen in an AI situation is, with the right question asking, we can figure out what is needed in terms of the levels of involvement and who might go with whom. So I know, Trish, in your last newsletter, you had asked some questions, and folks, if you haven't had a chance to fill out the questionnaire, are we still taking answers to the questionnaire, Trish?
Absolutely. Yep.
But we're wanting to hear back about what's the level of interest in doing something like this with this group. And when we're thinking about it, we're thinking about having, and this is part of the Pollinate system and where the AI comes in, of having a sign-in. So just adding something to the Share Your Stories online web presence already. And it would be somewhere where we could, log in, or we may just use the logins that you have, Trish. We would have everybody be able to sort of see each other in there and share resources, content, but really also this idea would be to have some kind of mentorship inside the system based on, the things that people are looking for. So from our AI system, what we've built out is, first of all, the ability to get in and to answer a few questions and then be suggested, here are some people that you might want to meet. Maybe it's Patricia who can help you with your problem. Maybe it's Martine, maybe it's someone else, but the topics could be important. How you learn might be important. So the AI takes that all into consideration, then suggests different configurations of us to get together. It might be, and also, do I want this to be a longer term thing where I want to meet with someone just the way I learn, or where I'm at right now in my journey? I think it would be helpful to know that I'm going to meet with someone once a month for a few months. Or does it just need to be a couple of coffee dates? So that's the kind of information that the AI can then take and say, okay, Trish, why don't Linda and Mia and so on would be the best partners for you. Maybe think about that. So that's how AI helps us with mentoring. Again, there's so many great people in this network. I'd love to spend time with each and every one of you, but I don't necessarily have the time to do that. And when I'm in a purpose-driven moment of I've really got to get something done, or I really need to get over a lip of change or a challenge or a problem, this is when this kind of a system can really help us to understand, who's out there. And then, the other benefit of the AI is over time, oops, sorry, I clicked out of my presentation there. Over time, we start to get more and more of a picture of who we are and what we are interested in. So Trish, this might not happen right away, but one of the things that happens in an online AI-driven system is we can see what we've been talking about. Then we might start to say, hey, we have the regular monthly meeting, but there's a whole subgroup of people who are super interested in strategy right now. Do we want to have a cohort? Do we want to do something different? So over time, as we express ourselves and become matched inside the system, we also then have the opportunity to really see ourselves, not just as individuals, but as the group, to understand what is it that people are talking about, what would be most helpful. Are there other configurations, pairings, ways that we could interact with each other that could be helpful for the group? So I think that is 5 minutes, Trish, on AI and mentoring, and I'm happy to answer any questions, but that would be a start to the conversation.
Well, thank you very much for providing us with some things to think about, for sure. And I know that we will then go to our breakout sessions as well as a group session at the end to talk about AI and
business. And we look forward to seeing you at our next quarterly networking event.